Hey, this is Tim Tom with News and Politics. Thank you for watching. So we got to talk about the election, the polls, everything that's going on. So as you know, we just finished two debates. The first debate was President Trump versus Biden. I thought the debate was, I thought Joe Biden actually did step up. He didn't commit a lot of gaffes. I thought he, stepped up and did a pretty good job. I think Trump did a good job too. Trump kind of set the record straight and talked about how he's been treated and kind of, I thought it was a good debate. I did think Chris Wallace was very, very biased. All his questions were just more Democrat talking points and about COVID and condemn this, condemn that, even though he has condemned it before. But, this is just how you get treated as a Republican, as a conservative. And also, every time Trump kind of nailed Biden, Chris Wallace came in, you got to follow the rules and this and that. And there was no questions about Biden's past of plagiarism or 94 crime bill or Hunter Biden getting money from Ukraine. Nothing like that. So that's my point there. The second debate, Kamala Harris and Mike Pence. I thought Mike Pence clearly won this one. Kamala Harris just got up there and basically sounded like CNN and the NBC, just the normal talking points. The normal 200 people died and you're responsible, even though 1 million people worldwide has died. Who's responsible for that? And really, no real answers. I thought Mike Pence was very smooth, precise. I thought he was good. I thought he did a good job. But the same thing. The questions were very, very Democratic questions. No questions about Kamala Harris locking up black people in California. Nothing about her extremely liberal political voting history. Nothing. It was all about the president and their history and their record. And it's just the way it is. I mean, if you're conservative, you're a Republican, you get treated unfairly. But Mike Pence handled it well. I know it's the biggest thing they talked about, the fly on his head. It's funny, and I thought it was kind of entertaining. But again, that wasn't the point of it. But if you have nothing else to talk about, I mean, that's what they're going to talk about. That's what they're going to make fun of you about. But overall, Mike Pence did an excellent job. He was smooth. He was competent. I mean, when I was watching it, I always said, why don't we vote for Mike Pence? Let's make him president. We're just so used to these politicians talking smooth. And Trump's not a politician. He ran for president 3 years ago. And he says it how it is. And I like Trump. To me, Trump is very real. I like to joke around and say he's a gangster president because he's just so honest and gives you that truth and doesn't lie to you. And as you know, they're going to push the conservative vote, Amy, whatever, to the Supreme Court, which would give the courts a conservative majority of 3-6. So basically, Joe Biden wants to pack the court. What that means by packing the court, it means that Joe Biden will change the rules and where you can add more Supreme Court justices to the Supreme Court. But he won't answer that question. But we all know it's pretty obvious that's what Joe Biden intends to do. And it makes this election very big. Also, Joe Biden's going to reverse some of the tax cuts that Trump did. Now, everyone got a tax cut. I know the lie is that only the super rich and mega. No, but it was 2% all the way down. So if you was in a 28% tax bracket, you went to 24%. If you were a 20% tax bracket, you went to 16%. Everyone changed except people very, very low. I think like the 10% tax bracket, that stayed the same. But if we elect Joe Biden, let's just be honest. I mean, he's going to support the new Green Deal. They may not call it the new Green Deal, but he's going to be against fracking. I know we want clean water and we don't like fracking, but right now, natural gas is the best. So if you elect Joe Biden, you're going to have higher gas prices. They're not in favor of drilling. They're not in favor of fracking. They're not in favor of coal. So everything's going to go up, and that's his policy. He wants free college. If you make a certain amount of money, so that's higher taxes. So it depends on where you're at. I mean, if you're in college, you need free college, you might want to lean toward Joe Biden. But if you're like me, working class, high value, I work real hard and I don't really need those things. So that's kind of where we're at. And if you like what we have now, before the pandemic, a lot of low unemployment, strong military, basically no ISIS. The wall is built. There's really no one coming over here. Immigration's been solved. They elect Trump. But I want to talk about these polls real quick while we're making this video. So the polls basically, as you see here, has Biden up by 10 points. And I've seen polls Biden's up by 17, up by 21. And what they do with these polls is that they go out and survey people. They go out and survey registered voters. So if you're a registered voter, they can call you, email you, however they do. And that's how they form these polls. And he's up everywhere, which is very odd because Joe Biden does not have a lot of enthusiasm. There's no exciting. People are mostly voting for Joe Biden because they don't like Trump. They're voting for Joe Biden because they are a Democrat. It's a very important to point out that with Barack Obama, people liked Barack Obama. They generally liked him. Same thing with Bill Clinton. They liked Bill Clinton. With Trump has a base. People like Trump. You see Trump signs, hat, make America great. They like Trump. People don't like Biden. No one really saying, I just love Biden. Biden just is going to do this and that. There's no excitement. People that has been tricked by the media. And if you notice, there's not been one good story about Trump in 4 years. Every story has been negative and bad and the nuclear codes. And ever since he started, it's just been ongoing lies. But if you notice this, when they actually come out with the Mueller report after 2 years, they take it to court, there's no collusion. No collusion. When they actually impeach him, he gets acquitted. So with Trump, they can make up things and accuse him, but when it goes to court or it goes to the trial, it doesn't happen. And so that's how it is. That's just what's been going on. But the damage has been done. So with the damage done with the lies and the fake media and the attack, so now people have been convinced that Trump is the worst thing ever. He needs to go. And they're voting against Trump. They're not voting for Biden. Very important thing to understand. So with that being said, people are going to go out and vote for Biden because they don't like Trump. So what I'm saying, if people don't really hate Trump, they're not going to vote. And I don't see a big turnout because the Democrats are in bed with black people. And black people want something. They hadn't got anything in almost 6 years after the civil rights. They had to, look at some of the neighborhoods, Detroit, Philadelphia, Baltimore. It's a mess. So a lot of them, and there's a new movement, ADOS, descendant of slaves. They're not really excited. They're not going to vote. So with these registered voters that are saying they're voting for Biden, to me, I think the polls are a little bit skewed. I don't think that the polls are very accurate. And I want to show you this article here. It's from U.S. Today. And with U.S. Today, the polls said, as you see the title, Biden's up by 10 points. And I've seen 17 points, 20 points. I've seen that it's over. Trump just quit. But if you dig down in some of these polls, I'll show you something. I'll actually show you who they surveyed. And what you're going to notice right here, let's highlight that for you so you can see that. So this is very important here. Let's just zoom in here a little bit. I'm actually getting a little lag here on the computer. All right, here we go. There we go. Oh, man, looking really bad now. Let's zoom out a little bit. Can we close this? Let's get that close. Okay, so Sunday's survey found 60%, including 9 out of 10 registered Democrats and 5 out of 10 registered Republicans. So what they found is that they have talked to 9 out of 10 Democrats and only 5 out of 10 Republicans. So they're talking to more Democrats. And I think the same thing in 2016, they've talked to more Democrats. And that's why I don't really view the polls. Now, I do believe Democrats will win the popular vote. So the popular vote means that they'll get more overall votes. But remember, we have an electoral college. So each individual state has to give their delegates, their electoral delegates. So there's a slim chance, not a slim chance, but I think a big chance that the polls are fake like they were in 2016, and Trump has a lot better chance of winning the electoral college because he can win more states and more counties and lose these big cities with a lot of Democrats in it that will give Biden the popular vote. So I just want to give you some hope there that the election's not over. Stop listening to Democrats. And one more thing, too. Democrats have done a big push on the mail-in ballots. Now, mail-in ballots do have a 30% rejection rate because people forget to stamp, they forget to fill it all out, they miss a part. So the big question is, will they count these rejected ballots, or will they kick them out, or will it backfire? So it's very interesting what's going to happen with a lot of these mail-in ballots. Another thing, do we not declare election on election night, or do we wait till all these mail-in ballots come in? So a lot of questions. This is not going to be a normal election, but I'm still very confident that Trump has a big base. I think that Trump can pull it out again. I do think Trump has got COVID and he's not acting on a campaign. Maybe that kind of plays a factor a little bit, like an injury in a game. But I do think I'm about 70% chance that Trump could probably win it again. The president that's in office does have an advantage and can pull it out. But let me know what you think. Drop me a comment, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.